Clearly see a six-pack. The guy's not even flexing. He's talking all tired. He has no energy. Hey, it's first thing in the morning and I just woke up. You guys realize I just woke up? Do I talk like this just because I just woke up? Oh my goodness, like I'm so tired. No, I can talk loud whenever I want.
So for those of you who may not know me, I'm Tanner Shuck, and I'm an aspiring fitness YouTuber. And just last week, I guess this famous fitness YouTuber made a video about me from this piece of content.
I just finished my workout. I've got a massive pump. So let's compare my physique now versus me right now after I just woke up. Keep in mind, it's the same day.
I think his name is Greg Doucette or Greg Doucette. What's his name? I think it's Doucette because he's French Canadian, right? I don't know. I stopped watching his channel a few years ago when it became more of a parody fitness drama channel than actually a reliable fitness education channel. So I actually didn't even see his video about me until 4 days after it came out when my editor sent it to me. I don't know whether I should be flattered or pissed off that Greg Doucette made a video about me. And I'm kidding. I know his name's Greg Doucette. I'm allowed to make jokes, all right? But does this mean I finally made it in the fitness industry? So if you watch the video, it's basically Greg explaining how he perceived my content. I mean, I have to admit, it is pretty hilarious. And when I filmed that, I did just wake up and I was tired. And I don't know about you, but we're not all Greg Doucette. And we can't all talk like this all the time, especially when we just wake up. And then in typical Greg Doucette fashion, he goes off on some random tangents where he makes the video completely about himself, and somehow we end up talking about how short he is and his loose belly skin. Blah, blah, blah.
You're saying, no, you're 5'6" man, that you can't have amazing genetics. Look, I understand I'm not tall. I feel like I have to do the friggin' limbo dance here. How do I show this at the same time? Am I gonna lose sleep over the fact that you can see my skin on my stomach? So what? I have skin.
And then of course he wants to sell you his cookbook and all his natty supplements, even though he's not natty. Now, it would be really easy for me to be pissed off and make some retaliation video where I call Greg Doucette a little man with a big mouth. But at the same time, I'm thankful that he found me on YouTube and thought enough of my video to make his own video about it and introduce me to his audience. The comments section of the video was overwhelmingly positive. And even though he makes fun of me and discredits me in his video, what can you expect? I mean, it's Greg Doucette. Anyone who's watched enough of his content doesn't take him 100% serious 100% of the time. But Tanner, don't you always take yourself seriously?
I'm just joking. Same as when I said that you said that you're a doctor. It's just a joke.
But honestly, he had some really nice things to say about me. And in an indirect way, he compliments me by saying my natty physique is better than 99% of all other natty physiques.
His physique natural is better than 99% of the world, at least at a bare minimum.
And here's all I have to say about that. I don't care how my physique looks. Never once have I ever trained for bodybuilding or aesthetics. I've always trained for performance or health. And my physique is purely a byproduct of how I train. And anyone who's consumed any of my content knows I'm natural. I think Greg knows too, which is great. But just for the record and for any skeptics, I've been meaning to share this with everyone. I got my testosterone checked 2 weeks ago, and as you can see here, my total testosterone is 4.87 and my free testosterone is 28.9. Both of which are in the normal range. And I don't know many fitness YouTubers that openly share their testosterone levels, but it's important to me to let everyone know that I have nothing to hide and I have way better things to do with my time than to lie and deceive my audience. And yes, I'm aware I have an above average physique, and for sure I've worked very hard for a very long time, but I also want you to know what a jacked natty physique looks like. So back to his video. Greg took 10 minutes to break down my 45-second video. Newsflash. When you're making a short form content, you don't have time to explain every little detail, exception, or nuance. People's attention spans these days are shorter than ever. You need to get your message across quickly and concisely. The entire point of my video was that all these jacked ripped dudes you see on social media every day don't always look jacked and shredded. They also look flat, flabby, and soft most of the time, just like most normal people. And that regardless of what you see on social media, you should not compare yourself to me or anyone else. Just compare yourself to who you were yesterday and be the best version of yourself. Both of which Greg and I stated in our videos.
So never compare yourself to me or anyone else you see on social media. Remember, it's you versus you. Just be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday.
None of this is reality for 99.9% of people. So stop comparing yourself to me or anyone else and just compare yourself to yourself. Be the best version of yourself.
So I think Greg may have missed the point or taken my video out of context a bit to promote his own agenda. Here in his video, he acts like I called myself fat.
You're not fat.
I never called myself fat. I know I'm not fat. I know I have an above average physique. He then goes off on another random tangent about how comparing enhanced guys and natty guys is like comparing men to women. It's not the same at all.
Naturals, only compare yourself to naturals. If you're 100% natural and you're comparing to people that take steroids, then you're just an idiot. I mean, think of it. It'd be the same thing like a female comparing her bench press to that of a male.
Which I agree with, and I've made another piece of content saying that.
Hey, if you're a natural lifter, you are never gonna look like Sam Sulek. You are never gonna look like Noel Diesel. You are never gonna look like a guy who takes steroids. So never compare yourself to anyone who's enhanced.
So I think in many respects, Greg and I are saying the same thing. In fact, if you go through the comment section on his video, the only comment Greg liked was this one. Not sure I understand this video, Greg. Tanner doesn't think he's fat. He's being tongue-in-cheek to show us how body dysmorphia on social media has distorted our perception of reality. You two actually agree on this topic. Now, where I disagree with Greg and what really made me decide to make this response video is when he says this.
And so I think the one thing lacking in the video is that he has amazing genetics. Most people with amazing physiques, they don't like to talk about how genetics played a very solid role in their body's development.
Really? You want to see my genetics? Here's my parents. My dad is 5'9" and my mom is 5'6", and I hate this, but both of my parents are overweight, and neither of them ever had incredible physiques or were exceptional athletes. And I know Greg doesn't know me, so I'm doing my best not to be annoyed by him saying this. But I have average genetics or slightly above average at best. What I do have is exceptional work ethic, consistency, and discipline. And that I'll absolutely attribute to my parents. And guess what? Anybody can possess those qualities if they choose to. Most things in life are beyond your control. You can't control how your friends or boss treat you, or how people drive like assholes on the road. I can't control that Greg Doucette made a video about me, and no one has control over their genetics. But you always have control over two things, and that's your attitude and effort. And if you get anything from this video, I want it to be that you can always control your attitude and your thoughts, and you can always control the effort you put forth in any endeavor.
This is what 20 plus years of dedicated, consistent strength conditioning looks like. There's a lot of fake natties out there lying to you, okay? But I want you to know you can absolutely achieve all your health and fitness goals naturally. No need to do steroids. Just work hard, be consistent, believe in yourself.
So when Greg simply chalks up my physique as, oh, he has great genetics, yeah, I take offense to that. I've fucking outworked my genetics to become the best I can be, and that's what I encourage everyone to do. And now I know genetics matter, but when you tell people they have bad or average genetics, you literally make them a victim of their genetics. You completely disregard the importance of self-belief, discipline, and consistency. And guess what? If I stopped working out right now and started eating shit, in 6 months, I would look like just any other average middle-aged fat guy that doesn't train or eat well. No one will be telling me, oh wow, Tanner, you have such amazing genetics, because I don't. So do not let yourself be a victim of your genetics. Instead, do your absolute best to outwork your genetics. And never blame your genetics for your average or shitty physique. That's blame shifting, and that's eliminating personal responsibility, and that's a weak ass mindset. Because I think we can all agree that we can all work harder, be more disciplined, eliminate excuses, and so we can all become the best versions of ourselves. And I think that's what both Greg and I are saying, just in our own ways. So overall, I think his video was positive, and what I think is most funny or ironic is he and I are saying literally the same thing, which is how social media has distorted our perception of reality, and unfortunately given a lot of people body dysmorphia. So I'll remind you once again, only compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And while I may not agree or consume a lot of Greg Doucette's content, he's had an undeniable impact on the industry. I know a lot of people love him, and I must give him credit where credit's due. He's built his following through years of hard work and consistency, and I respect that. We take a very different approach in our content. I'm not the kind of guy that gets caught up in drama. I use my channel intentionally to help and educate people, not to entertain people or distract them with he said, she said drama, or who's natty or not. Now, could I be more dramatic? Could I call people out on their shit and be way more polarizing and controversial? Yes, I could. Could I talk like Greg Doucette and create a character out of myself too? Yes, I could. But that's not who I am as a person, and that's not what I want to do with my channel. And that's not why people watch me. So although we take different approaches to our content, I think a lot of his training and nutrition advice is solid. And I was honestly in two minds about making this video. But at the end of the day, I decided to make it. And I'm not sure if you got much value out of it, but I promise my next video will be much more educational. YouTube is a strange beast, and there's so many different ways to grow a channel. Ultimately, all I know is I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I must be on the right track if I have haters and I did enough to get Greg Doucette's attention. Either way, I appreciate everyone for watching, and now I just feel like a cheesy asshole. But if you want to check out my programs, supplements, or apparel, the links are below in the description. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching. And lastly, I'd like to thank Greg Doucette for giving me a reason to make this video.